Hi everyone. On today's episode, we have Kannan Arumugam, the product head at CodeSpell.ai. Kannan has been in the software world for more than 25 years, working with enterprises and really understanding how they think and what they need. Kannan, we have also been working together for the last year. It's great to have you here. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Abhishek. I think we have a great topic for the discussion today. So I'm excited to share my thoughts and some real world insights that we have
Yeah,
obtained. Looking forward to
I'm,
this.
I'm yeah, really excited to hear more from you. So today's topic is human plus machine and the new software engineering paradigm. So in the world of Gen AI, it's critical that we work together with the machine and kind of figure out what the right way to do software engineering is. And for that, we have Kannan here today. So Kannan, let's dive right into it. Right? How do you personally define the relationship between humans and machines in today's world?
Yeah. I see the relationship between humans and so the machine, what we call the AI, as a true partnership. So when we combine human creativity and problem solving with the machine's speed and accuracy, we can achieve far more than either could alone, right? I like to call it complementary intelligence. Uh, so humans bring the context, reasoning, and ethical thinking, while machines take care of the repetitive task and huge data-driven operations of work. So freeing us to focus on innovation and impact. And what's exciting is that with so many AI tools now easily available, more and more people are learning to use them every day and becoming more productive, spending their energy on high value creative work.
Got it. I think the fact that the word complementary intelligence that you used, I think is really thoughtful, right? And I completely agree with you. I do think it's really important that we coexist, right? And it's very important to keep humans in the loop and kind of not solely give everything to the machines or AI that we're talking about here. So I think that kind of directly leads on to my next question of checks and balances, right? So machines can generate fast, but humans at this point at least often ensure correctness. So what new checks and balances should organizations adopt to make sure that this partnership works?
Yeah, that's a great question. Many are trying to find answers for it. So one thing we have to understand is because of speed without accuracy can do more harm than good. To make this partnership really work, organizations have to bring in few strong practices in place, right? Firstly, we need to define what are those tasks which are AI led and which are human led. So that clarity actually builds confidence and accountability. And secondly, if you look at the handoff between what AI generates has to naturally flow to human reviewers so that you do a validation and fine tuning on top of it. And AI should really function as a decision support system, helping humans make better and faster informed decisions, right? But never replacing human judgment. That's very important. And finally, the companies have to invest more on continuous AI training or literacy programs so people understand how to use these tools more responsibly and more effectively. When humans stay in control and AI does its part, so this partnership will truly shine and will take us miles ahead.
Got it. So you talked about AI-led versus human-led here, right? So I'm really curious to understand a little bit more about how you employ that on a day-to-day basis, working at CodeSpell, right? Kind of what in your mind is the key differentiation between what is AI-led and what is human-led right now, and then kind of how do you define that handoff?
Right. So, as I said, the informed decision, right? So, AI can do generate code. AI can help on bringing up the initial design. It can help on building or doing a review for you. But the final judgment of a human to accept whatever AI is generated or build on top of what AI is generated is the human. This is more respective to what we do in CodeSpell. So that's a human-led activity where they take the ownership and commitment for what they are accepting for.
Do you see that changing, Kannan? Do you think over time, like we were talking about agents right now, right? Do you think over time AI will get to the stage where it can act as a capable reviewer and a capable judgment of another AI's
Right.
code or another AI's test cases that another AI agent has developed? Do you see that, or do you still think kind of a human needs to be the final say here?
One part that we have to understand is, yeah, A can do the code, A can do the review, and others, right? But on the business perspective, uh, if A has to do and work, somebody has to direct it or provide a direction of why you need such a tool or why you need such a feature in the system. So that is more of a human-led, while AI-led could be more to how part, right? So I think that's something we can differentiate. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. I know we spent a little bit more time on this, but I think it's a really fascinating topic. Let's kind of move on to human expertise, right? And many leaders right now worry about developers descaling with Gen AI. Do you see human expertise being preserved or possibly even amplified in this new paradigm, or are you kind of worried that with Gen AI, humans are becoming less skilled and kind of less adept at the tasks than what they used to be before?
The usual worry in the industry, right? Yeah. But I actually believe human expertise isn't getting lost with AI. It is being redirected or refocused on something high value, and the efforts are amplified. So, for example, AI takes of repetitive coding, and that leaves the developer can focus more on higher order work, which is like system design or complex problem solving, or even ensuring our solutions are more reliable, scalable, and ethical to the need it has to be. And that to preserve the expertise, right? So that part is very key because fundamentals become more, even more critical, like understanding your data structure, your algorithms, your architecture, which helps the developers validate and optimize what AI generate. And domain knowledge, as I said, the domain knowledge and the context will always stay human because AI, as I said, the AI can write code, but it doesn't understand why something matters in a business or a user scenario. So this actually preserves the human intelligence and the part. And the amplification side, if you consider, AI is actually helping developers move faster and you think bigger. It boosts productivity. It accelerates the learning. That's the key, right? And it even opens up new roles. So instead of de-skilling, we are actually seeing an elevation of developer role, guiding intelligent systems to towards your smarter outcome. So that's how we see.
Got it. I think that's a fascinating take, and I also do agree with you on that, right? I think it's definitely kind of viewing AI as descaling. I think is a negative take. While it's a common concern, I think it's a negative opinion and a negative take. So I definitely think we need to view AI as a partner rather than as something that makes our engineers dumber. Um, so let's move on to some adoption barriers, right? What are mindsets or organizational structures, according to you, that need to change before enterprises can fully embrace this human plus machine model? Obviously, right now we see a lot of enterprises, including CodeSpell. Given that we are a Gen AI first product, if we weren't adopting Gen AI, I think that's a negative sign. But we are seeing a lot of enterprises adopt Gen AI, but also at the same time, we are seeing a lot of hesitancy as well, right? Like when it comes to banks or maybe certain retail giants that have kind of been in the industry for a long time, have a lot of proprietary stuff. They're a little bit more hesitant to adopt Gen AI. So, what do you think needs to change here?
What you said is right. How people at the enterprises has to embrace for the new model of human plus AI or the machine to work together, right? So this actually needs two things, as your question says, about the mindset of the people and then the structural changes that has to happen. But the good news is we are already seeing this change starting to happen in many places, but it has to spread and the word. Let's talk about the first point, where the mindset side of it, right?
Yeah.
People have to first start moving from thinking short term to a long term strategic view on transforming their company or enterprise into an AI first company. AI enabled is different, AI first is completely different, right? You think everything first as using solving problems using Gen AI or AI, and then if not, you take the other route. And secondly, we have to build trust. The adoption barrier comes in when people don't trust the systems, right? So that has to be overcome, right? We have to overcome that particular barrier. So for that, uh, the enterprise have to build trust by making the AI tools more transparent, so people understand how it actually completes a work or reaches a conclusion. And the other point is we have to replace this mindset. Generally, in bigger enterprises, we have this mindset of we have always done it this way, right? That is okay, but this has to be replaced with a culture of you need to have the curiosity and then experimentation freedom, so that you try some things new to make things much better. This is on the mindset, right? On the organizational structural changes, as you rightly said, the giants, the bigger enterprises will have silos always, and you don't get the same, the data or the ideas don't freely move across teams. That has to be overcome. And if you already have systems which are legacy and which doesn't support AI for some of the activities which can be modernized, it is not that infusing AI, it is some of the features definitely needs to be part of any system, so that it is um, adaptable, or it is surviving, which will help us survive for this current uh, era. And most importantly, there has to be a very clear AI strategy, governance, and ongoing training, so people feel confident to use it, right? So that is the main problems that people, enterprises, has to overcome, and that becomes which actually opens ways for greater growth opportunities.
Got it. Makes sense. I think we covered a lot here, right? You talked about transparency, you talked about AI governance and strategy. So maybe like an AI council plus AI training. And then kind of on the mindset side, I think we definitely talked about having the mindset to look broader picture, right? And then focus on how you can make your company AI first rather than, AI enabled, and just kind of uh, having the willingness to um, adopt new things, right? And I mean, I think it's obviously varying degrees at different companies, but I think over the course of the next few years, I definitely see, this change coming in. Um, I think we talked about this quite a bit, but do you, and I'm really curious to hear your take on this particular question. Do you see machines as collaborators, competitors, or enablers for human talent? Um,
Actually, we already spoke about this. So the best results come when both human and the AI work together, right? So there is no doubt about it, and it is more of enabler and a collaborator rather than a competitor. To give an analogy, AI can be considered as a skilled co-worker that never gets tired, and it can gives you uh, the different options, or it can analyze large set of data. It can give you a strong starting point from where you can take things forward, right? But it still needs human direction to define why we do that, and ensure outcomes align with our standards. So defining the standards and ensuring that those is where the human have to work more with the AI to enable people to focus on higher value thinking and innovation. So it is less about replacement and more about elevation of the role that we play. Right? So that's the key.
Yeah, makes sense. And I think kind of wrapping up with our final question that I have for you today. Really curious to understand your future outlook on Gen AI, right? So looking ahead, how do you see the role of a software engineer evolving in the next 3 to 5 years? And I think this is a question that you probably get asked all the time. What do you see
Yeah.
changing, or do you see anything changing?
Um, the role of the software engineer is going to evolve from just writing code to orchestrating. intelligence or intelligent systems, right? In the next 3 to 5 years, engineers will spend less time on syntax, more time on design thinking, architecture, guiding the AI-driven development. Instead of coding every line, they will focus on defining the intent, right? Explaining what needs to be built and why. While AI handles much of how, this actually we talked about, we will also see engineers playing stronger roles in they will concentrate more on this intent or context or prompt engineering and validating the output generator and more on ethical governance part. And so they essentially the future of engineer will be part developer, part architect or designer, and a part AI strategist. So using machines not just to automate work, but to accelerate innovation. So it is not the end of coding. It is the start of more smarter, faster, and more creative way to build software.
Really love that last sentence there, Kannan. Yeah, I do completely relate on this topic, right? As a prior software engineer myself, I do think that it's definitely not the end of coding, but it's just a more efficient way and a way for software engineers to focus on the higher level picture and on things that truly matter rather than syntax, as you mentioned. But I think that's it for today. Thanks everyone, and Kannan, thank you so much for joining and sharing your thoughts. As usual, it's very fun chatting with you. And to everyone listening, I really hope you enjoy this conversation as much as I did. Stay curious, keep exploring, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Thanks.